Riddle me this, riddle me that. It's Happy Love Day, let me tell you my rap. Love is every day, love is right on time. Love is a gift from the Holy Spirit, a gift that's yours and mine. We need love forever, let's keep getting better. Stop changing the conditions like you see the crazy weather. Love never changes like a clock changes time. Love is kind, not a toy that you wind. Love is from the heart, love is from the know. Learn more about it on the Alpough Show. The human spirit experiment starts now.
Welcome to Alpough. Ladies and gentlemen, here and near, Tuesday. You're having a great Tuesday. Hope you've had a great week so far. And it's time to get excited because we're going to be talking about the 10 things we learned from our pets. So many things I've learned. You see my buddy up there. That's my one-eyed cat, Spunky. I've known him for a long time. One of these days I'll tell you all about him. But first, before we start, I want to give a big shout out because today we are celebrating International Women's Day. And to all you ladies out there, we celebrate your greatness. We celebrate your love that you give to us. First of all, it's for my mother, Holy Spirit, Sophia, my beautiful wife, Tracy, my bride. Even my dog from the past is Bella. And a lot of you have probably seen her many times. She's on the cover of this clip. And this is her and I, who have always been together and always will be together. I just believe that our spirits are always one. And life always goes on. So we're going to be talking about, this is a series here, we talk about wisdom for beginners. And then we're all here to get into a new realm of spiritual greatness, okay? Where we practice simple things that make you spiritually great. First, it starts with it being adult of my spirit. Then an adult of my mind. Then an adult of my thought, an adult of my emotions, adult of my actions, an adult of my body, an adult of my love, an adult of my surroundings, the environment that you place yourself in, an adult of my relationships, who you socialize with. And the most important, which is the final thing of all these things, is being an adult, decisions. Because we are a group of decisions that we've made in our lives. And so I hope one day before this is over with, if you haven't ever had a pet, cat or a dog or a rabbit or a chicken, that you experience having one in your life. So, as we begin, let's do a little, what we call it here. We do it every time. Okay, first of all, I need you to do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, it's extremely important. And you have to click on that bell, everyone. Click on that bell for me because that's where you're notified because they're not putting me in the search engines because, of course, I'm talking about things that are love. So, let's begin. Now, all of us, if you've grown up, you've had an animal, you probably had a dog, you might have a cat, you might have had a bird, okay? And maybe, you've taken them for granted in some way. Okay. So I want you to slow down, and just consider what I'm saying. And see, we can learn from a rock if we have our spiritual eyes on. And animals, they just have their own way. They have their way when they look at us. See, I believe everything and everything thinks. Every animal thinks. Every insect, the smallest to the biggest, thinks. Trees, plants. According to the mother, are all one with us. We're all one big, huge mother spirit. So we're all connected. And so it is with the great honor of knowing that I've had some great animals in my life that have taught me. And I want to go over 10 things that I've learned, and perhaps you have too, as you take this pause and discover what animals do for us. The first thing it came up with for me was animals live in the moment. They live in the moment. They don't, they have to be. They have to live in the moment because they are a product of their own animal surroundings of themselves. So they must live in the moment. When I'm walking with my cat, by the way, my cat walked with Izzy and I. I go on walks with my cat even now. Now, he's blind in one eye, and he lives in the moment. So no matter what, every 5 to 6 seconds, he always turns back around to, it's a habit that he has to see if there's anything chasing him. Okay. It's his instinct to live in the moment. And as you can see, animals, if you've been around them, they do live in the moment. What matters is what there is at that moment. Okay. So the first thing is living in the moment, and they teach, or I've been taught, I'm going by my own relationships with my own animals, is how they live in the moment, which is really when they're centered around you, waiting on you. Okay. Yeah. The second thing is patience. Animals are very patient. Okay. All the great animals, the tigers, the lions, they know how to wait and be patient until they find something to attack. You've seen alligators in the water, how still they are. They're thinking, they're being patient. Now, I know there's a real difference, the way animals live and the way we live. We're supposed to be more civilized. But we think, well, okay, animals eat animals. And so they, treat each other as food. Now, unless they're same breed or same kind of animal. Tigers are with tigers, lions are with lions. Each one does it differently. So, this part of understanding that if we're supposed to be smarter, then we have to understand that we have to treat them better. And because it's very difficult for a lot of people to actually get to know a pig, to get to know a turkey, to get to know a goat or a cow, or chicken. You're used to having them on your, dining room table. And for the most part, most of us see the dogs and cats as, mostly of what how we understand and have animals that are around us. But if you've done any study, in which I have, about pigs, they're very smart. By the way, they have the closest skin to human skin, the pigs, to next to man. All right, it's just a fact. Um, if I've had the opportunity to observe many animals, and you see how they are. And one of the things when they're with each other is this unconditional love, uh, which is number three. They have this unconditional love. You see the way the mother, a bird, will go out, chew the food up. They had to think that. So see, to me, so I see them as sentient. Now we can't talk to them. We have to observe them, but they can't talk to us too. But a lot of them, they understand us better than we probably understand them. So they have this unconditional love, and that's how they make their connection. That's how it was with Izzy and me. We made a connection the very moment that we met. And just briefly tell you, she was caught in a storm. Somebody had thrown her out of the house in this, one of the worst storms we'd had. It popped up in October. And I see this little dog running around the complex. She kept coming to my door. And I just lost my other dog, and my golden retriever, Zammer. It's another great dog. And so it had only been about 6 months. So I knew I wasn't ready for a dog. And but sure enough, this dog kept running in front. This the cutest little, oh my gosh. And we just kept staring at each other in the snow. And when I'd go for her, she'd run. Finally, I got her and held her in my arms. Had a towel wrapped around her, cleaned her off, wrapped her up. She was shaking. I held her in my arms for 2 hours until she stopped shaking. And we kept staring at each other. And I knew then, right then and there, she was my dog. And we were blessed to be with each other for her whole 16 years of her life. And it was just a great time. But one of the things I noticed was unconditional love. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is forgiveness. Animals forgive. We make mistakes with them. It's just inevitable because we're, the way it was even 15 or 20 years ago. How you treated animals, how you fed them, vaccines, everything. How you discipline them. Those are things that we have to learn with our animals. But the one thing is I've made mistakes with her diet and things like that. That I didn't know. It wasn't until the internet came along and I was able to really understand the psychologicalness of an animal. And what gets me is myself it took me 53 years before I actually understood how an animal talked. 53 whole years. And so, thank you to all the animals who've forgiven me for eating them, And, we can only take it one day at a time, and, just understand that we're still learning about them, and they know a lot more than we give them credit for. So number 5 is sensitivity. And this is very important because one of the things how um, I learned how to stay calm was when I would get upset over whatever, bad phone call, whatever, paying a bill, whatever. And I would ratter, 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 ratter. And I used to see how upset, in all this, how it would make Izzy upset. I could see it in her eyes. It's like I was scaring her. And this is what changed me. She calmed me down. And the reason why she calmed me down was because I didn't want her to get upset. And so, because I knew how sensitive she was to my voice. And so I learned to stay calm. And now I do it around my cats. I realized, you know, and of course I realized, with my wife, everything just works better when I stay calm. And when, you see her calm and her patience and her unconditional love and her forgiveness, her living in the moment, and it all adds up to sensitivity. And with all those things, animals have unlimited kisses. Okay. And my whole thing with is was always she would lick my front of my nose. That was her kiss. Was lick me on the nose. Was not slobbering me on the other side. It was just she'd reach for my nose, and always felt like a kiss. So next is unlimited hugs. You can spend all the time. Your animals want you to touch them. They want you to touch them. When you stop, they're like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. What happened? What happened? Right? Unlimited hugs. Um, I think this is one of the most important ones here is communication with a look without speaking. I would always like look at them. Izzy's the one who's been with me the longest, and she's been gone for a year and a half, and it still hurts. Okay. So my life with her was 24 hours a day. I've always been working at home. So her and I have always literally been together 24 hours. And we've gone all over the country, all kinds of places together. And even when we were driving and I see her looking up at the mountains, like, what is she thinking? Is she seeing, oh, they're beautiful? And I could see how much she was enjoying that. And then giving you a look of thanks, after you feed them. Okay. Communication with a look without speaking. And I think, that's always a goal, in my relationships you don't have to communicate it. You can do it with a look without speaking. Now, number 9 is gratitude. And I kind of touched on the last one when you feed them and when you really reassure them and you pick them up, you know. Izzy was, I always called her my child, and she still is. She still is. So their gratitude, their thankfulness, I see it even in the cats, of knowing that, you're feeding them. And part of my issue with this one up here is he goes out and brings rabbits, lizards, birds, mice, chipmunks. and just brings them in the house and just drops them on the floor like. And I tried to figure what that meant was. I'm like, why? He's just 8. Why is he doing that? This has been twice this week. I'm sorry, twice last week. Well, in last week, all of a sudden, here's a rabbit in the house, and our whole thing is to try and catch them before they, mess up their little insides and they eternal bleed. So we always grab. We were 2 for 2 last week. We got both of them. Such the cutest little rabbits. So we were able to get him back out to the park. Okay. So that's that part of the other side of the weird gratitude. But again, it's I started looking at thank heavens for the internet now, even though it's whatever it is now. It's changed so much since the internet actually began. But I looked it up, and it was kind of like that's their way of showing you their gratitude and bringing you food. I'm like, wow, that's cool, but please don't. That's and they still don't understand that communication with a look without speaking. Please don't bring them in. Both cats do that. Okay, number 10, faithful. Faithful. When they make their attachment to you, they never want to lose it. Okay? Faithful. And I think that's what a lot of us need to see also within our own lives. What are we faithful in? Who are we faithful to? Are you first of all, faithful to yourself? When we go back down here to the 10 points of wisdom for Sophia, you know, and that is, being an adult of your mind. You are what you think about. Since animals live in the moment, they have no victimization. If you've seen dogs that lose their leg or or a cat that lost his eye, by the way, this is a bonus. We already did 10, but I got a couple more for you. Just and that's something that we should live by. Where we're at right now is they're trying to make us out to be victims all over the world. It's why today, I wanted to talk about animals. I wanted to talk about something other than what you've been listening to, which of course I study, and I'm going to do another show like I did last week on it, on what's going on, what's not being said, and what needs to be said. So the main thing is animals don't consider themselves victims. We have to not consider ourselves victims. Okay. He who adjusts in these crazy times won't be left insane in your mind. Number 12, they have respect for each other. You got to earn that respect, but they've got respect for each other. That's why when you see an animal that turns on his back, the other one who's getting ready to chomp down on him backs off because they respect each other and where they're at. Now, there's much more that you could, you find in your own. Put them in the comments about what you've learned from your animal friends, the ones you love the most. Yes, that's our cat right there. You see Spunky up here. Here's our other one, that's Sheba. And of course, she dominates my wife. Yeah, I said it. Because she's so intelligent, right, honey? Oh, yes, faithful to myself with a cat in my lap. Exactly. Watching this show. Thank you so much for the support. Really. really appreciate you. And happy Women's Day, my love, to you. And you're the top. You're at the top, and that's what I wanted to kind of end on here. Is a lot of these traits a good woman has also. And ladies, I know it's tough right now. I know it's tough on finding a man. It's tough on all of us here. Okay, but I know it's tough on you all, and all the pressure that's being placed on you also. We're at a place right now where, the women can be drafted if we, again, this is where it's coming. All right, so I want you to know I'm going to take this day to honor the women and honor the animals. By honoring them, we honor ourselves, okay? And let's just take this Tuesday here to honor each other. Honor our manhood. Honor the womanhood. Bring us together, okay? We want to be brought together now. I already made this prediction that 2022, the world will move into a new realm of division like we've never seen before. This is why we all have to take moments, time to understand all of us, the animals, women understanding men, men understanding women. This is why this is international. So there's people who watch me all over the place. And I want to thank you so much for giving your love. Thank my mother for giving me birth. And keep going. If you haven't, please adopt a pet. If you've never had one in your life, you're missing out. You're missing out on 100% love. And I just want to offer that gift to you. A lot of these kennels are waiving fees. And so let you just come, and pick yourself up a dog. Pick yourself up a cat. That's where it's at. I'm ready to love you, and I love you. And I want to thank everyone for being here. My wife sends out her love. I send out mine. Please like and subscribe my channel. Please leave a comment, whether you like it or not. What can I do better? Tell me some subjects that you want to talk about. And right here, you can subscribe. I've got 2 other videos that you can watch. All those are going to be coming in later. And thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow. Let's see here. Tomorrow is our big day where we have coming to see us. It's Wednesday, and Heteru. We'll be talking about the chakras. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the throat chakra, my favorite. We'll be talking about her sacred oils. And so, thank you so much again. Please look down here, click on some other ones, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you tomorrow, and it'll be 7 o'clock my time, 6 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. Until then, be a truth lover.